right, welcome back. Joined now by Sara Erickson from Red Door Pediatric Therapy in Bismarck and an occupational therapist.
Yeah, thank you.
And today we'll be talking about primitive motor reflexes. Sara, good morning.
Good morning.
Let's just start out with a basic definition.
Yeah, so reflexes are basically an automatic or involuntary response that will happen in response to a stimuli, so whether someone touches you or movement. And so primitive motor reflexes, those are the ones that are present at birth, and then within the first 2 years of life they typically integrate. And those are the basic building blocks for movement and development.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So most children, you know, this develops on its own and you don't have to worry, but when do you need to worry?
So if these reflexes don't integrate, you will notice difficulties in several areas. So difficulties with posture, balance, visual scanning and tracking, attention, the ability to follow directions. And then we look at more of those coordination skills. So you might notice difficulty with fine motor skills, gross motor skills, using both sides of your body together, and just overall regulation of your body.
How does that impact a child's ability to function as they move on?
Yeah, definitely. So when you think about all of the skills and the daily activities that we do when we're kids, all of those skills that we just kind of talked about are needed. You need balance and coordination and the ability to attend in order to successfully complete self-care skills such as dressing or brushing your teeth, going to the bathroom. Then we think about more education-based stuff like being able to attend and visually scan to read and learn. And then just more play, like riding a bike, building things, things like that.
So at what age do you start to, first of all, what do you mean by integration?
So an example that some people might be familiar with, a baby, the ATNR, asymmetrical tonic neck reflex, is typically integrated by 6 months. But when newborns...
and what does that mean?
So when newborns turn their head,
okay.
You'll see more of a bow and arrow posturing. So they're on the skull side, they might flex, and then this side they'll extend. And so if that doesn't integrate, so if you're 4 years old and working on brushing your teeth, and you turn your head, then you've kind of lost your spot. It might be not as significant as like you'll see in a baby, but it's kind of like your body's working against you. Like you have to work harder to keep your hand here when you're brushing your teeth if you turn your head, or if you're buttoning your shirt up, or writing. If you're writing and you look away, you might lose your spot. So it's just kind of going to be a little bit harder.
This is something a parent would notice, though.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you, is it difficult for parents to notice that?
Yes. So parents might not necessarily notice that, but they might notice like, okay, we've been working on these skills for a long time. We've been practicing brushing teeth. We've been really working on tying shoes and riding a bike, and they just aren't getting it. So what's going on? So there could be several things, but these primitive reflexes might be definitely an underlying factor in that.
Is there a point then where a parent goes, you know what, I've talked to the child about this, I need to talk to somebody? At what point does the parent look for help?
I think like I said, if they've been working on it for a long time and it's getting frustrating to the child or them, and they're just like, what's going on? We practice, and we're not seeing a whole lot of progress. What's missing? So
that's when you should have the child evaluated by a professional who would be able to recognize that, okay, well, she's turning her head this way and she should be keeping it over here.
Yeah, so, and like I said, it might not be as obvious to people that don't have, training in this, but you'll notice if your kids aren't kind of keeping up with their same age peers.
Right. Where can people find you to get help?
Yeah, we're at Red Door Pediatric Therapy here in Bismarck. We also have a clinic in Minot. Our number is 701-222-3175, and you can certainly just call and ask for a free screening, and from there we can determine if more assessment is warranted.
All right, well, thank you so much for being here, Sara.
Yes, thank you for having me.
We're going to wrap up when we come back. Don't go away.
The North Dakota State